What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We have ourselves a three-game slate to dive into for Friday, August 8th. So we're going to break down and analyze each of those three games. We're going to talk about which way they're leaning as far as the points and the spread, and we'll also go over a few player props that I found in those games that I like. And when it's all said and done, make sure you check down there into the pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that's going to send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. That's where you'll find all of my final plays for these games listed for free. Now, before we dive into these games, let's go ahead and jump right over there to the website. Let's take a look back at our plays from Wednesday. Let's see what we took then and how that ended up going down. And on Wednesday, we only had the one game, the Aces and the Valkyries, so we put the one play in. We put a play in on the total under 159.5, and we do cash on that one. 1-0 on the day. No need to force anything, man. Just put the one play in, like I said, and we do end up in the green. So we love to see that, man. And we still do have Thursday's plays out in action as well. The games have not tipped off before we started recording this video here. So we will recap those plays along with whatever we take here in this video in our next video. So let's go ahead and get into the mix, guys. Smash that like button down there for me if you can. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's jump into it, man. 7:30 p.m. tip-off time for our first game. It's going to be the New York Liberty taking on the Dallas Wings. Liberty are 7.5-point favorites, total sitting at 173.5. This is going to be the third head-to-head this season for these two. The Wings upset the Liberty as a 8-point dog in the first match in Dallas, winning outright by 10. And then the Liberty got their revenge at home this past Tuesday, winning by 9, but they failed to cover as 11-point favorites in that one. And no games in between for either side. They'll have a grudge match here, facing off against each other back-to-back. And the Wings have lost 6 of their last 8 games outright, but they've covered in 5 of those 8. They sit at 8-22 on the year, 14-16 against the spread, just 5-10 at home, 7-8 to the number in those games. Now, Liberty have won 2 straight after suffering a 4-game losing skid. They sit at 19-10 on the year, but they're 11-16-2 against the spread, and they've gone just 2-10-1 to the number when playing on the road. Now, Maisha Hines-Allen is on the injury report for Dallas, and New York is still down Stewie, Sabally, and Kennedy Burke. Looking at this last game between these two, the Wings did a lot of good things in that one that they can build on, and they're back home here where, like we just mentioned, they've already beat the Liberty once, so I don't think that they'll be lacking confidence coming into this one. Dallas was clean with the ball, man. Only 7 turnovers, just 8 points given up off of those turnovers. And the first meeting in Dallas went similar as well. You know, each team had 12 turnovers, but the Wings gave up only 9 points off of those turnovers, while the Liberty allowed 24. Now, they held a Liberty team that excels in transition to just 11 fast break points on Tuesday as well, and they dominated the glass, man. They out-rebounded New York 45-35, 16-2 on the offensive glass. So how did they lose by 9? Well, simply put, they shot the ball pretty poorly, and New York shot the lights out. 37% from the field, 22% from deep for Dallas, 47% from the field, 50% from deep for the Liberty. Now, with the location of play flipping and Dallas at home, I expect them to shoot a little bit better in this one. You got to expect some regression on New York's side as well. The Liberty really haven't been playing the best basketball as of late, as it is, man. They're top 3 over the season for offensive, defensive, and net rating, but in the last 5, they've fallen outside of the top 5 in each of those categories. I like the home dog in this one, man, and I like them early as well. I'm just trying to determine, which way that I want to play this one end of the day. They're 3.5-point dogs at the half right now, and they've covered that number in each of the meetings so far this season between these two. So the Dallas lean on the side, first half lean as well for Dallas. Then the total, man, over the last 3 games, the Wings sit at 7th for pace. New York is sitting at 2nd. They've hit 1 over and 1 under in their head-to-heads this season, with the overcoming in the Wings win in Dallas. Liberty and Wings both are 5-5 to the total over their last 10 games. The Wings coming into this one having hit 2 unders in a row. The Liberty have hit 3 in a row. But I think we see too fast of a pace here, man, in this one to think about an under. So I'd be leaning over looking at this game. The next up, be looking at the Washington Mystics taking on the Minnesota Lynx. Lynx are 9.5-point favorites, total sitting at 156.5. This one also tipping off at 7:30 p.m. Leah Edwards, Brittany Sykes, they are both out for the Washington Mystics, man. Mystics are making moves, shipping Slim to the Storm for a first-round pick, and then veteran Alicia Clark. She's a career 37% three-point shooter. Then Edwards was sent to Connecticut for J.C. Sheldon, and the Mystics will own the right to swap 2026 picks with the Sun as well. The Mystics are right there in the thick of the playoff hunt, and look, man, playoff experience for this young core of Sonia Kiki, and I think you put Shakira Austin into that young core as well. It'd be nice for sure, but the playoff experience would most likely just amount to getting swept at the hands of the Lynx. You know what I mean? So These moves here help Washington in the next year's draft, just gives them more options while they keep building this young team into a legit contender. So I like these moves end of the day. Kind of sucks for this season, but I like them end of the day for Washington. The Lynx, they made a big move recently as well, man. Dejanay Carrington was brought in via trade, and what a big pickup that was. Her defense, her slashing to the rim, ability to finish at the cup and shoot it from deep. It was all on full display, man, in her Minnesota debut. That was a very, very solid pickup for this Minnesota Lynx team. Just adds to that depth and that defensive prowess that they bring to the court each and every night. Now, the Lynx have won 5 of 6 since the All Star break, 7 of their last 8. And even without Fee, they were able to knock off the Storm their last time out in Seattle. They're now 3-1 without her on the year so far. Minnesota's 25-5 overall. They're 18-11-1 against the spread. They're 15-1 at home. 10-5-1 to the number one playing at home. The Mystics, they come in at 13-16, both straight up and against the spread. They're 4-10 on the road, 6-8 to the number one away. They've lost 3 in a row, 6 of their last 8. They failed to cover in 3 straight as well, 7 of their last 10. This is a lot of points to lay with Minnesota, man. But here's the thing, even if I did like the Mystics in this spot, and I'm not saying that I did, but even if I did, if I'm like trying to find a way to Washington, I'd only want to take them early in this game. You know what I mean? I could see them keeping things close through the first half. We've seen it a lot with Minnesota as well, throughout this course of the season. And we've also seen Washington play teams pretty tightly in the first half. But ultimately, the Lynx do have the best defense in the W. The Washington Mystics offense is stale at times already. I think that we see them most likely just send this Mystics offense into multiple scoring droughts. There's some revenge here as well because that one loss that missed or that the Lynx had without Fee, it did come at the hands of these Mystics here. They got their get back with Fee. They beat the Mystics after that game, but I think they get it here without her as well at home in this game. So I like Minnesota in this one. Now, for the total, Minnesota, they've hit 6 straight overs now, and they continue their offensive dominance, man, in their last game out, even without Fee. 91 points on 46% shooting from the field, 41% shooting from deep. Washington, they've alternated overs with unders, though, in their last 5, and on the year, they've hit under in 16 of 29 games. They traded away their leading scorer, like I said, and Brittany Sykes, man, and they didn't add a ton of offensive firepower back. They weren't a great offensive team to begin with, so I'm going to lean under in this one with that in mind and this Minnesota defense in mind as well. Then our final game on the evening, 10 p.m. tip-off time, going to be the Seattle Storm taking on the Las Vegas Aces. Aces are 1.5-point favorites, total sitting at 161. It's going to be the fourth matchup between these two this season. The Storm have won 2 of the first 3, including the last head-to-head in Seattle back in late June. The Storm made a splash in the trade market as well. Like I said, bringing in all-star scoring threat Brittany Sykes from the Washington Mystics. Now, she's a quick guard, man, that can attack the hoop. She's tough. She's going to take that contact and get you some and ones out there. She's a great defender as well. So, pretty good overall pickup for the Seattle team. I see she would probably move into that starting backcourt. We'll probably see Erica Wheeler come off the bench, I would assume. So you're looking at a starting 5 of Skylar Diggins, Brittany Sykes, Gabby Williams, Nneka Ogwumike, and Ezzy Magbagor. Like, that's a very solid start of 5, and I feel like Seattle, that's what they've been missing, right? Is that offensive punch. They've got the defense, and that's been evident in their play. Both of these teams, they come into this one at 16-14 on the year, but the Storm have covered on the road in 9 of 14 games, winning outright in 8 of those, while the Aces come in at 8-5 straight up at home. They've covered in only 5 of those 13 games. The Aces have won in their last 2 games and 4 of their last 5, but this is where covering the Aces gets tricky, man. I'll always talk about how inconsistent this team is because that one loss in those 5 games, it was an absolute beatdown at the hands of the Lynx, a 53-point loss at home on top of it. So to me, that's the biggest issue I have with backing the Aces ever, man. You just never know which team that you're going to get. But really, ultimately, you could say the same thing about the Storms team, man. They've lost 3 straight, 4 of their last 5 now, but nonetheless, they're losing close games. You got to give it to them there. This team, they're in every game. They just have been lacking that offensive firepower in those clutch moments, like I said, and that's kind of where this trade makes a lot of sense, right? You add Sykes into the mix, someone that can kind of give you those points in crunch time when you need a bucket. Now, Seattle lost close games by 4, 4, and 2 to the Lynx, the Fever, and the Sparks, respectively, over their last 3. That's arguably the 3 hottest teams in the W right now as well. Storm had already proven to be a tough matchup for the Aces earlier this season, and now with the addition of Sykes, I like them here as well, man, to take 3 of 4 from Vegas this season, so I'm gonna lean Seattle with this one. For the total, 2 of the prior 3, they've hit to the over, as well as 2 of each of these teams' last 3 individual games. The Aces play to the 5th fastest pace at home, and they've hit to the over in 7 of the 12 games at home that they've been made favorites as well. Storm are 3rd for pace in their last 5 games. They've hit to the over in 3 of the 4 games that they've been made a road dog, so I'm gonna lean over looking at this game. Let's go ahead and jump over to Outlier. I found a few player props that I want to look at here, guys. If you are new to Outlier and want to check it out, make sure you check down there into the description. You'll find a free 7-day trial that you can click into and try this out for yourself. But let's go ahead and jump over there and check out these plays here. First up, be looking at Alana Smith of the Lynx, looking at her rebounds under 6.5. It's juiced up here at minus 154. Both these plays are a little juiced. But we look down here in her last 10, we can see why, man, hitting at a 90% rate over her last 10, 20% even, or 70%, excuse me, over her last 20 games even, 73% on the season, averaging 5.3 rebounds per game on the season. So that's 22 out of the 30 games she's played. She has gone underneath of this line here. And in her last 5 games, averaging under 5 rebounds as well, hitting this at a 100% rate. And we can see this insight from Outlier. She has failed to exceed 6.5 rebounds in 9 straight games at home, averaging just 4.3 rebounds per game as well. Now if we scroll up here and look at her head-to-head against Washington, you see only 33% right. 2 of the 6 games played, she has gone underneath, but all 4 of these where she went over that mark was last season. And we can see here this season in the 2 games that she's played against the Washington Mystics so far, she has gone underneath that line. And this game here was also without Fee on the court as well. So we can go ahead and we can look at on the season as well, her without Fee out there, and she's hitting at a 50% rate, I believe, but we can double check that as well. And she's actually hitting at a 75% rate on the season whenever Nafisha Collier is not out there on the court. And then, I mean, the Washington Mystics, they're a good rebounding team. We know that they're sitting at second in terms of rebounds allowed to that forward position, third overall. So I like this one here. It is juiced, like I said, under 6.5 at minus 154 over there at FanDuel. I'm also looking at Enrique Gumbawale. This one is also a little bit juiced, over 3.5 assist, sitting at minus 156 over there at FanDuel as well. We can see her in her last 5 hitting this at an 80% rate, 4 out of her last 5 games. And then in the last 10, even hitting at a 60% rate, 6 out of those last 10. Besides this one here against Atlanta that, has a very good defense, she's landing right here on the hook in these other 3, landing at 3. If we look at her head-to-head against New York, we can see 100% hit rate in her last 6 games. She has gone up and over that 3.5 assist mark. So I like this one here as well. Looking at that one, Enrique Gubawale assists over 3.5. And that is going to wrap us up, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that is going to do it, man. Hope you guys all cash out and have a great night tonight. I'll see you back tomorrow for the next one.